Hello, welcome here. Thank you for being here. My name is Renee, and today I was looking at the books I'm currently reading, and it's quite a fun spread. There's a lot of really good ones, a lot of books I'm enjoying, and so I thought it'd be a good time to show them to you, give you a little taste of what I've been reading these days. It's a little abnormal. It's almost all nonfiction, which is very unlike me. So in this video, we're going to pick out a fiction book to read, just a short one. I'm looking for a little short one because I have a lot to read already, but I'm missing my stories. But before we do that, let me show you the books I'm already reading. The first book that I'm reading is called The Tower and the Ruin by Michael D.C. Drought. This book just came out. It's a new book, so that's kind of wild for me. But it's a book about Tolkien, so it gets a pass. It is very good. I am enjoying it a lot so far. It is about Tolkien's writing, about how he does what he does, how his stories, I guess, have the effects they have on you. So he goes over a bunch of different techniques, kind of looks at how Tolkien, how he writes. And it is very interesting, a lot of detail, I will say, a lot of detail, but you can still understand it. You know, if you pay attention, he gives you the information you need to understand the level of detail he goes into, I would say. But it's very good. I'm about almost halfway. That's not true, a third. But I'm really enjoying that. I got it for my birthday and I started reading it right away. Very excited. Okay. Next. Okay, I guess this one isn't nonfiction, but it's not a story. But I'm reading the poetical works of Keats, John Keats. I want to read more poetry. There's so much, and I feel like I'm such a novice. And I have a few collections, and so I'm starting to go through them. And I'm just reading maybe a poem or two a day, usually, as part of my little morning reading that I usually do. And I'm still very much at the beginning, but there is a lot of words on each page. I'm coming up to one of his big poems, and I don't know how to say it. Endymion, I don't know. But I think it's a long narrative poem, perhaps. Haven't got to it yet, but that'll be a bit more of a time commitment. But I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to read a little poetry every day. Just as like a lifestyle choice, you know? And get familiar with different poets, because you hear names of poets, but I have no association with a lot of them. I don't know what time period they're from, what they sound like, what types of poems they write. And so I just want to get to know the landscape a little more. So that is my first foray into that. Okay. Also, I have been reading specifically Song of Songs in the KJV and the King James version of the Bible. I've actually been memorizing it. I just think it's so beautiful, and I want to know it better. And I've really been enjoying, it's been about 2 months. Yeah, 2 months I've been memorizing the first chapter, and it's been really nice to go through that slowly, because you miss so much when you just read through a passage like that. Like Song of Songs is so full of, it's poetry. It's so full of pictures and references, and it's like two voices speaking back and forth for the most part. And so you can really tell who is talking and get to know the poem a lot better. So I've really been enjoying that. I've been doing that a little bit every morning as well. Working on memorizing that. Okay. Next. For one of my book clubs, we have been reading some treatises by Saint Cyprian of Carthage. These are kind of letters / essays, treatise, I suppose, about church, maybe church order, how the church should operate as a body. He covers lots of topics. And this book club that I'm in, we're reading through a bunch of church history, starting like kind of in the 1st century. And a lot of it pretty much all of it. I've never read any of it. So I feel like I'm still just getting my feet wet, figuring out the landscape, starting to put things. It was just like a black void before. And now I'm kind of starting to populate a little bit with a few people, a few ideas. So that's what this is. Boop. So yeah, look at like nonfiction, poetry. I guess poetry, not because I'm reading songs. Nonfiction, a lot of nonfiction and poetry. Anyway, okay, and then another book I'm in the middle of is a book called Hugh Johnson's Wine. I came across this in a free library in a cafe, and I started reading it while I was sitting there, and I just enjoyed his voice in the writing, and so I brought it home, and I've been reading it. I've been reading it usually a bit before bed because it's an easy one to just read a paragraph at a time. It's all broken down into like little sections with little titles. So I think it's kind of mostly meant to be used as a reference tool, but I've been enjoying just reading little bits throughout the day. I like people talking about food, obviously. But I also love people just talking about things that they love. And people who write books about food usually write books about food because they love food. And this guy loves wine. And so I am learning a lot about wine from different places and how it's made, how it's aged, what the different types are, etc. But it's mostly just fun to see him, Hugh, delight in something that he loves. So it has been an enjoyable, mostly bedtime read, but also sometimes during the day, if I'm feeling it. Okay, that is my current spread. Not that crazy, but we're not done yet. First, there is another book that I haven't started, but that I need to start. So I'm going to include it because I'm bound to start it in the next day or so, because it's for my book club. Next month. But I like to keep on the ball. And it's another nonfiction. And it's a nonfiction I've read before. The Medieval Mind of C.S. Lewis by Jason M. Baxter. I'm going to add it because I am about to start it. It is about, the title is pretty, gives you a lot of hints about what it's about. It's about Lewis and the medieval worldview and how, like, the things he thought about, how it affects his fiction, how Lewis saw the world, or how Lewis, the things he loved about the medieval model. It's been a long time since I read it, but I think that's the general idea. It's basically a book right up my alley. So I'm very excited to revisit it. I realized the other day that I don't have a fiction book on the go at the moment, and that feels wild to me because usually I don't even have a nonfiction book on the go. Often I just have 4 novels on the go. But I feel pretty satisfied with the spread. Sometimes if I've only been reading nonfiction, I start to feel a little parched. But this nonfiction is all very good, and a lot of it is nonfiction about fiction. Well, that's not true. Just this one, I guess. Just Tolkien. So you're reading about Lord of the Rings, so I've been thinking about Lord of the Rings, so it kind of feels like I'm reading Lord of the Rings a little bit. But regardless, I feel like I need to add a little story. At least get a story tucked in there so I can keep the ball rolling. I want to be a short one because I obviously already have a lot on the go, and I don't want to make everything, I don't want to slow everything down a ton. Because I'm reading all these at the same time, so it takes like 5 times as long to read any book. But I'm going to peruse my shelves. I don't know what I'm going to pick yet, and I love looking and just combing through and then pulling out whatever catches my attention. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to talk about it for like a second. Okay. Okay, wait. Okay, the book that I grabbed off my shelf is A Wind in the Door by Madeleine L'Engle. It's short, I guess, kind of kids novel. It's part of the Wrinkle in Time quintet. I think it is meant to be the second one. I don't know if these books are in order or if they're just, you can read them in any order. I'm unsure. But I have them, or I have 3 of them. I have this one, and I have A Swiftly Tilting Planet. Wrinkle in Time is very famous and very good. I liked it. But I haven't read any of the rest. And so I thought this little one would be a good one to add. And maybe I'll start it. I feel like picking it out and not starting it right away doesn't make it feel like you didn't pick it. So I think I'm going to read maybe a chapter or 2 right after this. And have a little tea. Well, thank you for joining me today for this little quick snippet. I hope you're having a lovely day. I hope you're reading something good. I hope you're having some nice tea. I love the color of this tea. I'm not going to do it without pouring on myself. It's like a nice red color. It's a rooibos. So I'm enjoying that. And like I said, I'm going to go, I think, start A Wind in the Door. And then maybe read a couple other bits and some other things. That's it. All right. I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.